everyone, it's Chicago Gardener, and today what I want to do is walk through some of the things that you need to know before you get started with your rooftop container garden. The first thing you'll want to find out before you start creating your garden is the deck capacity. So what that means is basically the pounds per square foot that your deck is capable of handling. Obviously, if you have a lot of containers filled with soil, it's going to add a lot of weight to the deck, especially when the soil is wet, and you want to make sure that your deck can handle that added weight. Now, I am by no means a structural engineer, but the guy that we spoke with did recommend that the deck be at least 60 pounds per square foot, and then we were able to find out that our deck is actually 100 pounds per square foot. So we feel pretty secure in creating our garden up here and knowing that we're not going to do any structural damage. So if you don't know the pound per square foot, try to seek out a structural engineer and hopefully they can help you out. But you definitely want to make sure your deck can handle the capacity before you start to create your garden. The next thing you'll want to know is, where are you going to get your water from? Now, we are lucky enough to have a hose hookup on the deck. I say lucky enough because the last deck garden that I was working in did not have a water hookup outside. If you don't, the other solutions are, if you have an indoor bathroom or an indoor sink nearby, you can hook up a hose to that and drag it out to the garden. That's what I ended up doing at our last place. It wasn't the ideal solution, but it worked really well for us. If you don't have that option available to you, then you'll want to use watering cans or potentially use a rain barrel to collect water. But the amount of water and the ease at which you're going to be able to get water to your deck should definitely influence the size of your garden. The third thing you'll want to know is what direction your deck faces and how much each area of your deck receives in sunlight. So this side over here is the south side of our deck, so this is what gets the most sun throughout the day. Luckily, we don't have any other tall buildings nearby that are casting a lot of shade during the day, just this wall right here. So I do take that into account when I'm placing my crops. Things that are going to require the most amount of sun, I try to put on the south side. Things that need a little bit less, I'll move them towards the north side. The final thing that you'll want to know as you start to prepare for your garden is that on a rooftop, you're going to have more extreme weather. So basically what that means is, if it's hot outside, it's going to be even hotter on the roof than it is on the ground. If there's a lot of wind, it's going to be windier up here than it would be on the ground. So you want to prepare for that. If you have plants that like the heat, like the sun, they're going to do great. Any plants that might need a little bit cooler weather or some shade, you can place them below a shade structure, or sometimes, for example, I'll put pots underneath raised beds if it gets too hot outside. And for wind, you definitely want to make sure that you have things staked, have cages for anything. Luckily, we do have this wall that's about 3.5 feet tall, so it provides some protection, but it has still gotten pretty windy up here on occasion. So just make sure you have those structural elements in place to handle some more of the extreme weather that you're going to have up here. So those are some tips of things you'll want to know before you get started with your rooftop container garden. I hope that was helpful. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.